6:34 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Please stand for the salute to the flag and a moment of silence. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Before we do the roll call, I have a couple of announcements regarding executive meetings that have been held on 4/13/2023 from 6:05 p.m. to 6:38 p.m. and also 9:18 p.m. to 9:40 p.m. Executive meeting was held for the subjects of safety and security and personnel matters. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dietrich,
Here.
Mrs. Donahue,
Here.
Mr. Elling,
Present.
Mr. Johnston,
Here.
Mr. Knopf, Mr. Koch, Ms. Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Schulz,
Here.
Mrs. Smith. Here. 7 members present.
Thank you. First up tonight are some presentations of scholarships. I think someone from the audience will be coming up to present.
Yes, Mary Ann Carroll from Florida. Lydia McCalla.
Hello.
Has to get really close.
Get really close to it?
Pull-
Okay.
You can pull it towards
Is this close
you.
enough?
You don't have to lean in.
How's that? Is that good?
That'll
Okay.
work.
Hello. As a 2016 graduate of Central Mountain, it's a pleasure to be back here tonight. After high school, I earned a bachelor's degree in environmental science from Penn State and then joined Croda as a graduate trainee. I recently completed rotations in several departments, working at facilities in New Jersey, Alabama, and of course, our Mill Hall site over the last 3 years. As of last month, I started a permanent position at the Croda Mill Hall facility as a QMS specialist, helping to ensure we meet the quality standards our site and products are certified to. For those of you who don't know, Croda develops and manufactures high-performance ingredients and technologies featured in popular personal care products and high-purity excipients used in vaccines and other drug formulations. At our Mill Hall location, many employees have a STEM background in science and engineering, particularly chemistry and chemical engineering. We have a serious focus on our sustainability goals, the use of renewable energy, and reducing our environmental impacts. You may have seen the recent press release about our new facility across from the fairgrounds. Once built out, that location will focus on lipid production and development for pharmaceutical use. Supporting a STEM pathway, Croda for the first time is supporting 2 Central Mountain students to attend Bucknell University's engineering camp next month. These students will learn about the different engineering disciplines, participate in experiments in real research labs, and learn about college life. This will be an academically challenging, hands-on introduction to engineering on Bucknell's campus. Croda Mill Hall would like to present these scholarships to Sophia Dressler and Nathan Akeley, each worth $1,300, to help inspire them as they consider post-secondary opportunities during their senior year this fall. Congratulations to you both as the recipients of the first Croda Summer Study Scholarships.
So Lydia, first, it's great to see you back and see you again. And Sophia, congratulations. What a great honor. So thank you for all you do, and please thank Croda.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Get a picture of them.
Yes, we need to get a picture of them.
Maggie,
Yeah.
you got a phone? You get a picture of those two? Hey, guys, could you come up here and do like a presentation here?
Yeah.
That would be lovely. You just sent it to me.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations.
Next up is the superintendent's. Wait, hold on a second here. No, next up is the hearing of visitors. Do we have any visitors signed up?
No, there's no visitors signed up.
Okay. Next up after that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you. A couple announcements for tonight. Many of you have, I know the board has already seen the invitation to the student showcase events. That's our elementary schools across the district have been partnering with the Clinton County Fair. Our students are doing what I'll call very interactive passion projects across multiple content areas. And some of the students can showcase their projects. They're going to showcase them with their families at their individual school buildings. And then if any of those students elect to have their project entered into the fair, our Keystone Central Foundation is actually covering any fair entry fees for the projects. And just to let you know, like, it's similar to what you would think of as an elementary science fair. However, it's not just focused on science. There's areas in the art area. Some of the projects focus on artwork, science, experiments, demonstrations, musical exhibits, any hobbies that kids might have, collections of things they have, Lego builds, photography, paper crafts, models and kits, baked goods, and tech displays, along with career projects. So there's a little bit something for everybody. And those of you who have been really focused on our comprehensive plan understand that this is goes right along with our mission to develop lifelong learners who are adaptable, resilient, productive, and of high moral character. And that the skills and attributes that kids learn through doing these projects, regardless of the content, is the keystones for success are being exercised and demonstrated through these projects. And that's the responsible citizen, the effective communicator, because they're doing the presentations, they're being creative problem solvers, and also respectful collaborators. So just wanted to give a shout out to Amanda Mosier, who has been one of our teachers, a STEM teacher who's been coordinating these activities across all of the elementary buildings and throughout the district. So that's one thing I just wanted to let all of you know, and I hope you get a chance to get out to the fair this summer and see some of the exhibits. The Central Mountain High School Indoor Garden Majorettes are currently in Wildwood, New Jersey for the TIA Indoor Championships this week. We wish them the best of luck as they are always among the top performers at this event, and we hope they can bring home another title or two. Senior class activities are underway this month across the district, and graduation is set for May 31st at Bucktail High School and June 1st at Central Mountain High School for the graduating classes of 2023. And that's all I have for that report.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Next up are the committee reports. First one under there is the Facilities Committee.
Okay, thank you. I have a few items that we discussed from our April 25th meeting that we had. First of all, first item we had it was kind of a follow-up to an item that came up in our prior meeting from the month before. And it was about some water runoff. I think I mentioned it's the last time, some water runoff that's coming into some of the condos in the back portion of Homestead Estates. And we said we would take a look at, see what we could find out. And Mr. Bazella's looked into it, and you'll see later on in the agenda, there is an item on there to do a survey for this area to make sure. I think the first step in trying to find a solution to this is to make sure that where the actual boundaries are and what is Keystone's responsibility and the township or whomever. So we went ahead and are recommending that we go ahead and do this survey. And there, like I said, it is later on the agenda, and it will be, we put some time limit parameters in there so that we can get it done as soon as we can, hopefully by between now and the end of the summer. So that is, we're asking for the board to approve that at next week's meeting. From there, we had some facility project updates. First one was the raw parking lot project, which we had looked at probably doing this summer, but I found out today from Rob that the project is actually going to be starting, I think, as soon as next week. So, which is good news. We can get it up and done here, certainly well before the start of the next school year. A couple other items we discussed as far as ongoing things, the middle school canopy. We talked about taking that down over the summer and trying to come up with some kind of a alternative type of entry design there for that. I don't think we're going to do anything elaborate because of the other two main entrances there, but that's to be done over the summer. Also, the stage curtains that I think mentioned the last time they will be ordered, and hopefully we will be getting them in over the summer as well. The Bucktail High School Girls Locker Room project is also on the docket for this summer to be have that taken care of and hopefully get it ready to go for fall if possible. I know that we need the locker room for some athletic events. So hopefully we'll get it done before next year. We're also working on getting some updated prices on exterior doors. I know that getting those is, I think, taking a lot of time. Just getting the doors, but Rob's been get some see what kind of updated prices he can get on those. And the last item that we discussed was the insulation project for the middle school field house. Right now, it doesn't have much insulation in the ceiling, so which means we're limited on how much we can use it throughout the course of the year. So we're going to try and get that project scheduled sometime for the upcoming school year to get that so that we can use it more often and even in colder weather. We we had David Lindsay did a title search on the Liberty Curtain property rather, and he thought that there may be some easement considerations that might create a problem, but at this point there are some things, but he didn't see that it was going to be an issue as far as delaying or being a problem for the project. And speaking of Liberty Curtain project, Jeff Straub from Crabtree Architects was with us online. He gave us a good current update as to where we are with it. He has, he's talked to the civil engineering, is scheduled their survey to be done sometime very soon this month. The landscape architect, civil engineering team has been working and speaking with the municipal authorities and some of the entities up in that area. He also talked to us about, I guess they're going to take the floor plan and put it into what they call a program called Revit. And I guess that's, since I'm no expert on that, I think it gives us 3D dimensions and so on, and pictures of actually what it's going to look like rather than just a floor plan. So that should be pretty cool to see that. So, and the final thing is, I guess we have 2 meetings, or I should say the architect has 2 meetings scheduled for the Liberty Curtain folks, all of the staff, faculty, and everybody involved with the project schedule. I think one's coming up on Tuesday, and then there's another one later in the month. So we're moving right along with that project. So and as far as Jeff Straub was concerned, we are still right on schedule as to our timeline that we had laid out. And I think that's pretty much it, the highlights of the meeting. So we will meet again on May 23rd, and we have several items to discuss at that point. That's it.
Any questions? No? Okay, moving along to the Finance Committee. James or Butch is not here. Is there a spokesperson for the Finance Committee?
No, she's in Melbourne.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we mainly talked about the budget and updating suggestions on updating the slides on there to maybe clarify and simplify some things for the public to understand why we're discussing a tax increase. But other than that, I think
That was mainly the bulk of the meeting.
that was the vast majority of it, yeah.
Okay. Questions, comments? No? Moving to the next one, Safety and Security Committee.
Okay, since Butch isn't here for that either, then I'll just briefly surmise what we were looking at. There has been some changes to the safety and security plan to make things more consistent throughout the district. We're also looking at doing a safe to say program in the future. That time is to be determined at a later date. And we're also looking at grants for the district to deal with the safety and security. And also, we're going to be talking later on about some sensors. So that was discussed and moved out of committee, so to the board.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Oh, one other thing. I would like to give props to our officers. Our own Mr. Todd Bryan was dealing with a training with the Rescue Task Force. He actually worked with other law enforcement members and also members and medics throughout the area. So that,
He was the trainer.
yeah.
Yeah, that was-
So, and then also, Mr. Van Gorder, he has been utilized and called out with our wonderful dog to do some stuff, with some of the other law enforcement people in the area. So
Thank
our
you.
guys are being utilized other than just here. So,
Great. Okay. Moving along to the next item, actually next three items, I guess we can cover all at once. We have the treasurer's reports, the financial reports, and the enrollment reports. Any questions or comments in regard to any of them? Okay. Moving to the next section here under board. We have under there the board committee meeting schedule. That schedule was set back in, I think, January, and I think maybe there are some updates to it that need to occur or might occur.
Can you use your mic?
These are the meeting dates from June to December.
Okay,
Thank you.
so if the committee chairs could please get with their committees and discuss what the dates are for the rest of the year, unless you'd like to do that here. No?
we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next is the board treasurer appointments.
This is just an annual task required of the district each year, and the district has historically approved the business manager in that role. And so this year you have a different business manager name.
All right. Next section of items are a group of policies. Items number 1 through 9. I don't know that we need to cover each one individually. Are there any specific questions in regard to any of these 9 items listed?
No, they were
Yeah.
really well thought out and discussed during the policy committee. So, but if anyone has any questions, do you have any other comments, Dr. Martin?
No, we've been working through the 200 policies as cyclical review. We have 2 more 200 policies to go, and we're also diving into the 900s at our next committee meeting. And I just want to thank not only the board committee members for policy, but also the administrators who helped review these policies before they went to the committee.
Absolutely. It's a great team.
Next item is minutes for the recently held committee meetings and last month's regular board meetings. Any questions or comments in regard to the meeting minutes? No. Okay. Item J, I think this will take us a little bit longer. Under business, we have item number 1, the typical bills for payments. There probably no questions or comments about that. Next item here is the proposed final general fund budget. I think there's some information to be presented. Is that correct?
We're not going to re-present the things that we've already presented, but we did add the documents there. And I think it's just, this is something that the board is required to do this month of May, is to adopt a proposed final general fund budget that is balanced and based on the conversations with the finance committee over the last several months, we've been directed to bring this budget forward to adopt the proposed 2023 final general fund budget in the amount of $89,377,620. This will need a roll call vote next week. With regards to real estate, you can see the millage for Clinton County 13.9, Center County 43.05, and Potter County 51.86. And then the net profits under the tax one will be 1%. And so the committee did also ask that Joni McIntyre and I prepare some comments for the public, because we know that obviously folks are never happy about getting a tax increase. And the committee the committee said, we want the public to know all of the things that we've been doing to maintain, keep costs down or to reduce costs or expenditures for the district. So we prepared this statement for you. So Joni McIntyre and I have been asked by the Finance Committee to provide some additional information to all of you about the financial picture for next year and the complexities that contribute to these projections. The committee wants our community to know that we constantly strive to find efficiencies and decreases in spending. Our budgeting procedures that focus on need rather than fixed amount for line items or annual allotments is utilized in the process. Through the bidding process, we analyze the staff request versus need and the current inventory before ordering additional supplies. We've also been able to minimize surprise expenditures through advanced planning on a cycle for things such as curriculum, resources, classroom furniture, and uniform replacements. Through position control measures, we're seeking ways to reduce or repurpose staffing to meet current needs. Those needs change from year to year. Over the past 30 years, public education has increasingly assumed roles associated with public services for students. We provide a wide range of services to our students through certified professional staff members such as crisis counselor, social workers, behavior specialists, school psychologists, security, and school police officers. The need for specialized staff has been evident for several years. Programs for students after school and in the summer have also been added to support our students. Food insecurity in our district became even more apparent over the past few years, and through our breakfast and lunch programs, there are no costs for students. With regards to personnel, there have been some decreased costs realized with the most recent negotiations and contract settlements. Savings have been realized with increased copay rates and spousal exclusion stipulations for new employees. These changes help to offset the increased cost of healthcare coverages we see each year. We're constantly monitoring class sizes and seeking realistic reductions in staffing that will not have a negative impact on learning. Budget expenditures are directly impacted by costs. Adding new programs in our career and technical center, such as education and homeland security, are essential to address worker shortages, community needs, and the local workforce. However, adding programs adds costs. Our school board and administration has committed to adding additional students and staffing and safety equipment to address the community needs. There are significant costs to these decisions. Inflation is having a significant impact on our district for operational costs such as supplies, electricity, gas, water, facility projects, and maintenance. Recent energy savings projects by Keystone Central School District have been exceeding the guaranteed savings we were promised across the 8 buildings where upgrades were done in 2020. Last year alone, we saved almost $200,000 in measured savings, which was $40,000 more than expected. We've identified over $60 million in facility needs need to be realized over the next 10 years. We are using and seeking state and federal grant dollars for these projects. Some of the grants require matching funds. This budget proposal includes over $2.2 million in grant matches from local sources to complete $18 million worth of projects. Our district revenues have been increasing due to tax collection efforts and investment strategies. Some additional dollars have been provided to our district through the most recent state level up funding formula. Federal dollars outside of grant monies have remained relatively stagnant. As a disadvantaged rural district, we are experiencing the same discrimination that was found to be unconstitutional with the most recent legal case on PA school funding. In that lawsuit, the judge ruled that the Commonwealth must provide an equitable distribution of state resources. While this work has begun, we will not likely see any results in the next 2 years. School budgets are complex and involve a lot of moving parts. Next year's budget is approximately $6 million higher than last year, but we have planned effectively to balance the budget by asking for only a partial tax increase that will generate less than $1 million in additional revenue. We do not believe that any single expenditure is contributing to the need for a tax increase, but rather a compilation of several factors. It is our responsibility to pass a respectful and balanced budget while meeting the needs of our students. And so for that reason, that pretty much encapsulates the conversation, I believe, at the Finance Committee from last week.
Yes. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Okay. Next one up is next year's school lunch prices.
Yeah, we're still, again, you'll see the free breakfast and lunch cost for students, but there is a cost for staff. And it was a 15-cent increase on each of those adult breakfast and lunch prices and a 5% increase on additional milk.
All right, next one is the new story agreement.
That's a provider that provides special education services in the summer for students who qualify for that type of programming.
Okay, next one's an EMS agreement.
EMS does not stand for what you think it does. It's not emergency medical services. This is actually a program that's directly related to software for our business office. I
Very
think
nice.
we've
Oh,
mentioned
it's
to you before.
accounting software. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay.
This is the new-
Right.
the new- the new program?
It's actually the same company is redesigning and going to this, and the committee that's been working on it felt this was the best way to go. For the time being, as it would be the most economical way to upgrade our software without going to a whole new system.
Great.
But the system that they've been frustrated with has agreed to make some changes.
Food truck agreement.
Yeah, the food truck agreement has been discussed before, and after some legal review, brought this agreement form forward for you to approve.
Another library reading report, or two more.
Yeah, yes, from Mill Hall.
Mhm.
Next one is Keystone Security and Technologies contract.
Or do you have anything on that one that you want to mention? Oh, there's, okay. That's right. Thank you
Mhm.
for the reminder, Rob.
Okay, that brings us down through item 11. So item number 12 is the PSBA annual dues. Any questions or comments about that? Next one after that, number 13 is independent contractor agreement.
This is for an independent evaluation for a student.
Okay. Next one is Lackawanna College dual enrollment agreements.
This is a renewal. We've had this agreement in the past and the agreement expired, so it's just a renewal. It's an opportunity for students to earn college credit while in high school.
Okay. Next to the last one here is the NRG Controls North contract for the bathroom sensors.
Okay, so as Roger mentioned earlier, this this contract, or, you know, what we're recommending is that the district approve the smart sensor and camera installation agreements with NRG Controls. You can see the total there is $251,176.80 to be paid for through capital funds, which we do have those funds available. So this is not something that we would, you know, add to. We have added some security measures and safety things into next year's budget, but this amount was not budgeted for. So we do have some capital funds in our you know, accounts to cover the cost of this. And basically, I know this was talked about at length in the security meetings on multiple occasions. We have been utilizing some pilot program. We have 2 of these devices already active in our buildings since our last spring break. We came back after the Easter holiday. And I want to call these smart sensors because they do a lot more than any single function. They have multiple functions for safety and security. Just a couple of the things that they do, and Mark, feel free to jump in and add at any point. But these things, they look very small. They look about the size of what all of you would know as a smoke detector. They're about the same size, and they are directly linked to our camera system. And they detect, number one, occupancy count for any type of small area, such as restrooms. They also detect vape, also the difference between vape, a non-illegal substance versus illegal substances, loud noises. It also detects certain words or keywords that could be of danger. And so then the system triggers alerts to specific staff and personnel, to which we're not going to disclose that process. And at any rate, in order for these to be effective, we also felt there were some blind spots based on this technology. So there's some cameras that we believe would also help enhance the use of these tools. And so that's really, I think that the high level summary, I know those of you who were in those meetings got a much deeper dive into how the technology works. Anything else you want to add, Mark?
No, I think you covered it very well. Thank you.
Okay, questions, comments?
President David?
Yeah.
I said this during the safety committee meeting, and I believe it's legal for me to say it, and I'm serious, I meant this. To all the individuals that were in the room, it's one of my favorite committees. I'm not on the committee, I'm just came because I'm a board member. I seriously want to thank all the people that supported David to set up the March meeting for the public. Because even though I know the school district takes safety and security very seriously, it has ignited passion collectively in all of us. And the amount of work that the staff, administration, all the things on the agenda, it is one of the, I feel proud to be sitting in this room, in this seat, because of what I've seen evolve. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item up is the land survey.
I think Mr. Johnson spoke to that earlier.
Okay. Next category is personnel. Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to make a comment that you'll notice that there is a resignation on there from Stephen Hafley, who has decided to take a role in administrative role in another district. And Stephen's been with us for a couple of years, and during that time has made some significant gains with our athletic programs. And I know he's actually at a track meet right now, so he made it back here. But we just want to, at some point, maybe even next week, if he's here, to thank him for his service to our district.
Thank you, Stephen. Is he up there? No.
And then the other comment I had under the administrative piece would be that we have additional employment of Colin Foster as the Information Systems Administrator. This position was a vacancy that was left when Chad Crape left our admin team. Ed Choma filled in to that role, that administrative role, and subsequently Colin has joined, will be hopefully joining our team with your approval. And the other thing is our team is recommending Ryan Cardy to fill a vacancy at the Central Mountain Middle School for an assistant principal role that will be left vacant by Ashton Brady, who is going to be leaving with a relocation of her family. So hopefully you get a chance to welcome them after their approval next week, as anticipated.
All right. Under the next category, we have the first item up is athletics.
Just a lot of game workers. I was just always impressed of how many student game workers we have, and it's awesome to see that they're wanting to be part of these programs and do these jobs. So I hope you can support that.
Next one is the Central Mountain and Bucktail Athletic Boosters Summer Fundraiser. I think these are the accounting reports for those. Any questions or comments? Next one.
They're just the
Oops, sorry.
request for the upcoming
requ-
summer.
Requests,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Item 3, student activities for quarter 3.
Yep, this is a routine report that you get.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, last one is the health and PE curriculum.
So at this time, I'm going to ask Dawn and Megan if you'll just go to the microphone and give a very quick update. I know that Dr. Scholes has given an update last meeting through your committee meeting minutes, but this is a pretty awesome milestone for the district as we've been approving curriculum each year on a cycle. And so really proud of the work that you've been able to do with health and PE. And I said this at the committee meeting, but I'll say it now. I believe this will be a model curriculum for schools in Pennsylvania to follow. So with that, if you would just provide everyone with the summary of how this is laid out. They did create the kind of summary pages in the beginning of the document that kind of give you almost like a table of contents of unit topics. And then followed by that in your big, very large packet gives you for each unit. We use an understanding by design template, which means it's kind of a backward design, like what are the desired goals? And then how do we backward design what students need to know, understand, and do in order to demonstrate their knowledge and learning. So with that, I'll let you talk about the process you used and how we got to this point.
Great, thank you. That was a good setup. So the process that we used, we started early spring last year. So we've been at this work for over a year. And we started by having a group of stakeholders with our health and PE department, really setting out to look at the data that we have available to us, to look at the standards at the national and state level, and then develop some departmental goals for what we were hoping to achieve in this curriculum design process. So I don't know if you want to speak to the goals that we kind of established throughout the process, because that's what really guided our work in this development.
We started, we went away from, as you know, physical education has changed a lot. So actually our program is a wellness program that will combine health aspects and physical education aspects together. We started with the PACE survey. It's the Pennsylvania Youth at Risk Survey. So we made it more local. So it's the things that are affecting our students here that we wanted to target. And I think you'll be happy to know that if you do look into the standards, any unit 1 K through 12 has cooperation and positive behavior. And then within that, there's a lot with violence prevention, conflict resolution, how to be a good good sportsmanship, how to be a good athlete, or good player, or whatever it may be. The second unit is on fitness. And we've updated some of our technology. Every 7th through 12th grade student will have the platform app, which has a plethora of anything you can imagine. There's yoga, there's HIIT, there's Tabata, there's nutrition, there's mindfulness. The teachers can organize and let the students select what interests them the most. So they have a lot of selection with this. And then also with the wellness, they have a lot of selection on what activities they get to choose. So when you go into a high school physical or high school wellness, and there are 3 teachers there. One teacher can offer one thing, another teacher can offer another, and the third can offer another, which is called selective PE or selective wellness. So the students will get to choose what they like to do and are more likely to do, which should cut down on discipline issues. And it should also make them more healthy by exercising and doing what they like. The focus is not on sports. The focus is more on skill-related fitness and health-related fitness, your coordination, your action time, your cardiovascular endurance, your strength, different types of skill-related and health-related fitness.
And the reason that we wanted to do that was just to really focus on wellness for life. All of our students we need to all have these skills as humans. And so it's really important that we develop those skills and teach those skills just like we do teach math or reading. It's just as important, and we're really committed to that.
I think you're going to see the essential questions that will be assessed. If you could Google search it, we tried to avoid it. So if they were able just to Google search to get an answer, we wanted to avoid that. We wanted higher order thinking skills, even in wellness, so that it's situational. We put them in a situation, so it's more on decision-making, problem solving, working together, cooperation, things like that. So it's a whole different program. And as you said, Dr. Martin, we hope it can be a model program as well.
What about using Chat GPT? What about using Chat GPT?
That's a whole different conversation for pretty much every curricular area, because that will be
Yeah.
something that is on our radar and something that, you know, when we talk about what it means to prepare students for the future,
Yeah.
a future of AI is very real, and, you know, it
We're
is
here.
available today. It's
We're
here.
here.
We can't avoid it.
We're
Well, I
here.
remember whenever we went down to Washington, I
Yeah.
remember seeing a program on that. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And now it's here.
It's here. Yeah.
It's here and it's changing rapidly. We're not even to the fully capable understanding Chat GPT 4.
Okay.
As
four.
much
Yeah.
as, well, it's been evolving and
Yeah.
it's evolving. And I think even Google Sparrow and some of the other things that are coming out,
Mhm.
we really in curriculum, to kind of address your question, even that we need to look at task redesign and what are we asking our students to do? That it's a respectful task, that it's going to help them be prepared for the challenges and opportunities of the future. So again, being a future focused school district has a lot of advantages because we can already start to think about those task redesigns and how we can utilize technology in a way to make our world better or to solve problems or to think collaboratively and so on. So
And it demands that we look at what we teach and how we teach it differently, because if students can Google it or if students can generate it on AI, then we need to think about what we're asking students to do and know, understand and do. And so I think we're on our way with this curriculum. I think that what we're proposing is future forward in the sense that these aren't things that students will Google and get an answer to. These are creating students who are able to thrive in the future.
And
That is the skeptical
I
one.
just wanted to mention one of the positives, and I want the public to understand this. And, you know, obviously the community is very engaged on this safety and security.
Yeah.
But this curriculum complements that
Absolutely,
and
absolutely, yeah.
safety security issues. When you're developing coping skills
Yeah.
and communication skills
Interaction.
and social emotional learning, that complements it. So there are a multitude, I mean, we're talking about very traditional ways of monitoring in restrooms and those kinds of things. But there are other ways of addressing this issue, and this is very crucial. And so I think that's wonderful of Keystone Central to be so forward thinking on these issues. And it also is very important because this follows recommendations from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, from Shape America, the Professional Association for Health and Phys Ed, and my profession, Society for Public Health Ed and American Public Health. So this really is, the school district is on cutting edge. And I want the public to understand this is quite an accomplishment. And
Thank
all
you
of
for
need
that,
to
Dr.
attention.
Schultz. We really
It's huge.
appreciate that. And I think it is important to note that, you know, we did use that local data. We took into account what, you know, the pressing issues were for our community. And starting in kindergarten, we're teaching those social skills of conflict resolution. And it was really important to us in the process to use those, to use that data to develop something that's going to be proactive and be proactive just as much as we are reactive to our issues. So.
President David, please.
Go ahead.
I love the co-curricular committee. And it's so, because you have much more experience in this field than I do. When you two are presenting, I just want to let you know, it just, because I know you've put so many hours into it and work and months and a year and plus all the other staff. I understand that section, but once you sat down and explained it to us, it was like it made so much sense. It wasn't like some, you know, thing out there that, you know, we're gonna, but it just made sense. And that's why I know you're gonna be so successful with this. And I can't wait to follow this.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
It sounds very teacher friendly
Yes,
too,
yes.
and
Mhm.
student friendly. And I think families can embrace this, and
Absolutely.
lifetime
Just makes sense.
fitness and wellness, all of these concepts are
Mhm.
just very important.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Yep, thanks. Good job.
That's great.
I think that might be it. Any other questions or comments?
I just would like to say, as per policy 105 for curriculum, this curriculum that is online is also available for anybody who wants to come into the curriculum office or my office and get a copy of it and to review that curriculum. And then we would be seeking your final board approval in June, not next week, because we'd like that to be on display for 30 days for the public to comment.
Are we going to be given the opportunity to look at any of the materials?
Oh, yeah.
That would,
Yeah, so the resource review.
Oh. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. The policy that relates. Policy, there we
There you
go.
go.
The policy that relates to resource adoption is very specific. And so anytime that we bring resources to support this curriculum, we will bring those to the board separately for approval.
and they are budgeted for next school year because part of, I kind of mentioned in the budget conversation that we plan for these curriculum rotations and curriculum cycles and then the resources, because the resources follow the curriculum approval.
That's what I'm just kind of wanting to see those, and you know how I am. You know how I am.
Oh, we all, yeah, we definitely all do.
Right,
All right.
I think that's it.
Super.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn if nobody else has anything else.
May I second, because I never get to.
That you just did.
Thank you.
Okay, 7:21. Meeting is adjourned.